I'm Jim Klett, and I'm a professor in the Department of Horticulture and Landscape Architecture, and have been involved with Plant Select since the beginning, representing Colorado State University. And we're here today to talk about some of the trees and shrubs that have been introduced through the Plant Select program over the years. And these have been kind of the backbone of a lot of gardens, are trees and shrubs, and we'll talk about some of the ones that have been quite successful. Well, one of the trees that has been very successful in the Plant Select program came from one of our own nurseries right here in the state of Colorado called Hot Wings Maple. This came from a seedling selection of many Tatarian maples that were lined out in Fort Collins Wholesale Nursery. They had one that for many years the owner, Gary Epstein, was looked at because it had great red Samara fruit midsummer. Some people said it was like Christmas in July because of the beautiful red Samara fruits on the tree. It also has good branch angles to it and doesn't break up so much in snowstorms and ice storms. The other great thing about Tatarian maple is that it's fairly adaptable to our soil conditions here. Doesn't seem to get the chlorosis that you see so often with the Ganala or Amur maple. It's a small maple, and I'm so happy to see that it's being utilized now really throughout the state, especially along the Front Range, as some street trees, in parking islands, and in people's homes. That this great maple is a great addition for a small to medium-sized tree. Another great shrub that has great cold hardiness to it is the Cheyenne mock orange. Now this has great history to it also, in that it came from the Cheyenne, or the Horticulture Research Station. It used to be a USDA, or United States Department of Agriculture research station, but they had many mock oranges in their trials. And there was just this one, Philadelphus lewisi, and they called it Cheyenne, that looked good after many years for its cold hardiness, and it didn't have the dieback that was so often that you could see on so many of the mock oranges. This one also has that great mock orange bloom that is white with the orange center. It's very fragrant, and it blooms basically towards the end of May into early June, and the plant is just covered with these beautiful flowers, very fragrant. After that, it's kind of an upright arching shrub that has pretty good green foliage. The fruit is just a little brown capsule, not that important, but it's well worth having for the beautiful flower that you have on it and the fragrance of the flower in the late spring, early summer. It's also very cold tolerant and also pretty drought tolerant that you would have with this plant. We have some broadleaf evergreen forms of Archistophilus or manzanitas, and through the Plant Select program, there has actually been 3 of these introduced. There's just the Coloradensis, which has a little more of a spreading habit, and then there's the Chieftain, which has a little more upright habit to it. But these are all great broadleaf evergreens. Now, they have nice foliage in through the winter months. They have the little nodding flowers that are pink to white, and they can get some fruit. Most of these are hybrids that have been found on the Uncompahgre Plateau in basically western Colorado. So again, they have this Colorado feel to them, and they're just not planted enough, and they're great. Now, once they get established, they're quite xeric and will not need a lot of additional moisture. There's another great plant called the Pawnee Buttes sand cherry, Prunus besseyi Pawnee Buttes. This was found by 2 great horticulturists. They were on a hike and they saw one of our native sand cherries that was very low growing, but has this really kind of a nice bluish green foliage color to it. But then it also gets great white flowers, and then it'll get some fruit that goes from a maroon to a reddish black color. The other nice thing, it has fairly nice fall color. So this is one of those shrubs that I think that has pretty good all-season appeal. The other thing is that it's very drought tolerant, doesn't get nearly as tall as the straight genus species that we have with Prunus besseyi. So it's a great plant that way for dryland areas, again with great all-season ornamental features. Another great shrub for early spring flower color is the Spanish gold broom. Now it has these evergreen green stems to it. It's a smaller broom, but the main ornamental feature about this plant is the beautiful yellow flowers. It also has some nice winter texture because of the green stems to it through the winter, very small dark green leaves. But its main ornamental feature is that beautiful flower that you have on it in the spring. This is cold hardy, beautiful flowers to it, and also some nice winter texture that you would have with this plant. Another small tree or large shrub, could be grown either way, is the Russian hawthorn or Crataegus ambigua. It's again one of those plants that I would say that has excellent year-round features because it has beautiful white flowers and then it forms fruit that turns a red fruit. It also has a bloom on it that is not as obnoxious or a smell to it like some of the other Crataegus. Plus it has great history. This one also came from the USDA Cheyenne Horticulture Research Station. It's been there for many years and it's been now picked up and used in most xeriscape books. So it is very drought tolerant. And I think a lot of horticulturists would say it's probably the best hawthorn that we have for this Rocky Mountain High Plains region and beyond. But when this is in fruit, especially late summer, early fall, it's just loaded with these red, berry-like pome fruits that's just attractive. And eventually the wildlife and birds will get to it. So it's a great one for attracting. Plus the other main thing, it's very xeric. It'll do very well in our soil conditions along the Front Range, along with very xeric in nature. Another shrub that comes from in southwestern part of Colorado into New Mexico, native, is this Apache plume. It has the scientific name called Phyllogia paradoxa. Paradoxa means that it's quite unique because it has flowers and fruit at the same time. It's a very xeric shrub, and it has simple flowers that kind of look like a rose coming into bloom, 5-petaled, pink to white, and then it gets this styles or part of the flower that looks like an akene type of fruit, feathery-like, into the fall and winter months. It also has kind of a whitish gray stem, and it's a plant that when people see it in bloom, it's very attractive, and the fruit persists then into the fall and winter, which makes it again an outstanding shrub. But probably the best point about it, it's very xeric, and it'll do very well in our poor soils. So given all of this, it's a great shrub for a xeriscape area and a great addition to the Plant Select xeric list of shrubs. The plants we discussed is just a small portion of the woody plants that are available through the Plant Select program. And through the Plant Select program, these are really adaptable shrubs for the Rocky Mountain and High Plains region and beyond. Both these trees and shrubs have been proven, have been tested at numerous sites throughout Colorado before they are ever introduced or recommended through the program.